It's 5 o'clock, and the Historic District Review Board will come to order, and we will now pledge allegiance to the flag and have a moment of silence. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, the first victim we have is 214.
Excuse me,
It's just in jest. Yes, ma'am.
you got a roll call.
Roll call. Kathy.
Hal Gill present.
Tom present. We have a quorum. So now we'll call the first victim.
No, we have to consent to the agenda.
Yeah.
You're not reading your agenda.
We actually have an organizational meeting.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Oh, okay. So we should have elections of officer chairman and vice chairman. Do we have a nomination for chairman?
Are we gonna do this with just 3 of us?
You can.
Do we have a nomination for chairman?
I nominate Herb Tom,
I second Herb Tom.
unless you refuse.
I nominate Kathy Grazer. Do I have a second?
Well, we can't, because we've already,
I already seconded you.
yeah, you can't second 2.
I can undo it. I can. What's the preference?
Undo mine.
What's the official route?
Do we have some?
You can put out several nominations, and then you can have a vote as to which one you would like of those nominations.
There you go.
But can you second multiple?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
In
then.
that case, I second that one as well.
Okay, all in favor of Herb Tom? Raise your hand. All in favor of Kathy Glazer? Raise your hand. Okay. We now have a new chairman, Kathy. Vice chairman, can we have nominations for vice chairman?
I nominate Herb Tom.
I nominate Herb Tom as well.
I think we need
I
a,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The secretary,
We don't have
yes, we do.
one. Well, but
I-
that's an appointed position.
No, she's elected.
You elect and you appoint her.
Yeah, we could elect anybody, really.
I nominate Tracy.
I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Tracy, I'm sorry there's no increase in pay or time off, or the gratuities are the same. Thank you. And our favorite town councilman, Paul Grossman, everybody in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so have it. Thank you very much.
You favor him for what?
That was Paul Grossman, our favorite town councilman.
Oh, but
He's right back
we
there.
didn't nominate him.
I did. I nominated him and he's here to stay. Okay. Now, moving right along to 214. Oh, do we have any public comments?
We have no public comments.
None. None?
Approval of the agenda.
Can I have the agenda approved, a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
I second.
Okay, how about approval of the minutes? We have none. Okay. Renovation and additions, new construction, none. New business, fence installations, none. Modification and approval for certificates of appropriateness, none. Renovations, minor. 214, Randolph.
Are you sure?
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is for 214 Randolph Avenue to replace the front and back doors. The applicant is seeking to replace the existing front fiberglass door that has a decorative glass and 2 panels with a new fiberglass door that has 4 lights, privacy glass, external grills, and 1 panel. The existing transoms and side lights will remain. And as you see, there are pictures that have been provided. And we also gave you historic district overlay design guidelines for you to look through. The applicant's representative, which is Meredith Sela of Mr. Rogers Windows, is here representing the homeowner Fitness Adventures, Inc.
Okay, victim,
Yes.
please come forward.
Okay.
So I had a question, but Tracy's already answered it, that the transom and the side windows
They are
remain in
staying.
place. And they'll just match what's,
Yes, and the new design is actually matching the neighbor's door. She's trying to make it look a little more historic.
If you do some research on that period, the new design is more appropriate.
Right,
I agree, yeah.
yep. She even changed the privacy glass to satin to make it more, because she thought that would be better.
This is the door you're talking about, correct?
That's the current door,
Okay.
yes.
The
Did you?
new one is like this.
Yeah, there should be a
Yeah,
rendering.
no, it's two of the two. Okay, but the lights, are you removing the lights?
No.
So
They are
it's the
staying.
Same size door.
We are fitting, so right now, there's currently a door with frame in there that's been replaced, that one. So we're taking the frame that was put into that opening, because there's a frame within that, and we're removing that and putting a new framed.
So it's the same size door?
Yes, sir, no enlargement
Or shrinkage?
or reduction, correct.
The side lights are staying, but the header is not.
The transom is staying. Yeah, the transom is, the side lights are both staying. They're both the same age.
It's just a change of door.
Yeah. Door slab and frame.
And it's a non-historic door now. It's a fiberglass non-historic door, switching out to one with different windows, basically.
That looks more historically accurate.
Make a motion that we approve the door,
I'd
doors
I second it. I've got no issue with it.
as noted.
It's a
Yeah.
like for like.
You like it, okay. We have a motion and a second, so can I have a vote? All in favor of the motion?
The,
Say
I,
aye.
if you need a reference for the, for why it's been approved, the, because it's a like for like as per the guidelines, same material as the door it's replacing. The,
Actually, section 5-23.
it's a fiberglass door, but it's replacing.
I think it's steel currently.
It's,
It
It's a
just
better
says that
door.
The door should be representative of the period that the house was built. It doesn't specify.
The fiberglass is more traditional to that than the steel is.
So,
Okay.
Good?
You can put your door in and you
Yay.
never lost any blood.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was much easier than last time.
Okay, that was 214 Randolph Avenue. Next, we have renovations and additions. I think we have to make a phone call.
Hello, this is Jimmy Darden.
Hi, Mr. Darden.
I'm here.
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear. I'm tuned in on your live meeting as well. I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, hold on just a second for us. I'm gonna tell them what you want to do, and then they can ask you any questions, okay?
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay, good evening, sir. I'm Herb Tom.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Could you tell us what you want to do to 610, 612 Peach Street?
I sure can.
Okay.
So we're keeping the existing siding as it is, and we'd like to basically revamp the front porch and make it more structurally sound. We also like to replace the front and rear doors. They're damaged beyond repair with fiberglass doors, and so it'd be a like-for-like exchange on the doors. We'd like to also put a new roof on it, on the top of architectural shingles. The front of the property has a existing front porch roof that is also damaged. We'd like to replace that with a metal roof. And we'd like to also add a rear fence to the back of the property as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
I'm gonna poll my board for comments, please. Hold on for a minute. Go ahead, Kathy, do you have any?
Sure, thank you.
I do not.
That's the first time a woman ever said she didn't have anything to say.
That's because Jimmy knows.
Yes.
Okay.
My question, hi, this is David Halgill. My question was just for the front porch. It's not an objection, it's just a question. The existing flooring of the front porch is exactly as you describe. It's very obviously completely gone. I was just curious why you were choosing brick as opposed to anything else for it.
Did you hear that, sir? Yes. So the question was about replacing with brick. So to more specifically detail what we intend to do with the porch, so it's currently dilapidated plywood that's just kind of crumbling. What we're proposing there, and I should have elaborated on this previously, I apologize, but we'd like to replace that with composite decking boards and utilize the existing footprint. So we don't plan to make it larger or smaller, but we'd like to just replace that plywood with composite boards.
Okay, so the surface is actually AZAC, not brick.
Correct, yes.
Perfect, okay, that's fine, thank you. I had a suspicion
Sure,
it was
absolutely.
my misreading of it versus anything else.
No.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay, go ahead. Now, Kathy would make a comment. Go ahead.
Just a reminder that the shutters that you're putting on there have to be a little bit larger, because they have to be able to close.
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. I did send an email with an addendum that may not have made it through just yet. I did send earlier today that we do intend to have the shutters be wide enough to cover the windows and hinges as well. I did send a picture of what we're proposing, and I'm happy to kind of send a rendering if necessary on the original sketch.
Okay, no, I'm good.
Could you hold on just a moment, sir?
Sure, absolutely.
Trace, do you have the memorandums or emails that he's referring to?
I don't have the new one yet, not unless he sent it until after I came over here about 4:30. I'll check.
Is the style any different? You just made them wider?
That's correct. Yeah, the same style, just making them wider and also displaying the hinges that we intend to have there for the historically accurate.
Okay. Tracy, do you have everything in order?
I just want to make sure that
Hold on.
I just want to make sure that when you make your motion, that you're making it for everything, and because he's also proposing to install a new gable window.
Do you have that, Mr. Darden?
No, I'm asking you as the board.
I do, yes.
I want to make sure that you're catching everything,
So, yeah, the window is a question.
because that's all new.
That's a material change to the front of the building?
It's all new to the front. No, it's all new to the front of the building. He's proposing it.
Sir, you're moving the gable window from the side?
No, he's proposing a new gable window. No, he's just adding one in.
Okay.
See the old windows now that over here?
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, so you're adding the window, sir.
Correct. Yeah, we were proposing adding the window, basically the same size and style. So that would be a new addition, new window, yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Is there any other questions?
No other questions.
Since we have no other questions, we'll take a vote.
Well, we have to have a motion.
We have to make a motion first. Go ahead, Dave.
I make a motion to approve as submitted, with the changes discussed on the record that Tracy is due to receive, including the size of the shutters.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, sir.
You're good to go.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all so much. We appreciate it. Thank you
You're
so
more than
much.
welcome.
It's going to look much
Have a
better.
good evening.
Yeah, much better.
Actually, see. They're not in order.
It was Tracy seeing if we,
Next one is,
it was Tracy seeing if we were paying attention. She scrambled some of the sheets a little bit for us.
yeah, his was, Jimmy was after.
It's after and before.
Right.
Yeah, well, on the agenda, it was
It's
before
fine.
when
It's-
it was
it's
placed
fine.
after.
We-
Sorry
we-
about that.
So just go back to your notes.
Back in the notes. Okay.
But if you read the top of your staff report, you would have seen the, where it says 72. I was testing you to make sure that you,
It was a good test.
see
It's a
that?
very good test.
Okay, this is 72 to 24 Monroe Avenue. They are replacing the front door, replacing the roof, replacing the front porch floor tiles and step rail, and adding a addition to the rear and the sides, which is all, this is all included within your staff report. You'll see that the applicant is being represented by Claudine Pierce, and the applicant is Westerhouse Holdings LLC. There are renderings in here, and we have tried to explain it to the best of our knowledge. And the applicant representative is here to answer any questions. Okay?
Please step forward.
Hello, how's everyone? All right, this is the small one-story cottage over on Monroe Avenue. I don't know if you all are familiar with it. The front of the house, we don't propose a lot of revisions. We're going to keep it as it is. We're going to keep the existing windows. We plan on peeling back the vinyl siding and exposing the wood siding that's underneath it. We actually had a permit to go in and do some little bit of deconstruction on the side, and we found that the siding is in good condition under the vinyl. We are going to repair screens. It is an existing screened-in porch. We have some repair to do, but it will remain the same. The porch floor, which you cannot see, has vinyl tile on a concrete slab. I think that's where the brick came in from before. We're proposing to put brick on that floor when we pull up the vinyl tiles. A new roof will be asphalt shingles. So from the front, the house will appear exactly the same. We're removing a vinyl handrail, going up to the front porch and putting a wood handrail in, and we're retaining all of the windows on the front.
On your handrails.
There's a vinyl handrail, so we're going to put a wood handrail in. Going up the steps, there's an existing brick steps that will remain in place. We're just replacing the vinyl handrail with a real wood one.
Okay, so are there any handrails around the porch?
If you look, there are not. There's a decorative railing around the front porch. It's not, it's inside this, if you see here. It's all, we're not planning on changing anything. So everything that exists that you see on the front is all wood and it's original.
Okay, how's the screening?
The screening's on the inside,
Yes, what, are you gonna replace it?
only if it's ripped.
So kind of keep it as it is. She's keeping it as it
I'm
is.
not, all we're doing, anything there will just be upkeep, maintenance type thing.
Okay, but you're not removing the spindles on the
No.
rails?
No, we're not removing any of this. Right here, coming down this step, is a vinyl, like a vinyl handrail.
You can see it, you can see it there. There's a vinyl handrail. So that's going to be wood. And the only other thing which you wouldn't see from the front, because of the porch, you wouldn't see anyway, is the door behind it. The
Correct.
front door is going to be,
Right.
which is actually also behind a storm door as well.
can't
So
see anyway.
the existing,
And it's a
the existing one,
hollow
nobody
core
can see it at all. Yeah.
It's a hollow core interior door somebody used for
Okay,
that.
thank you very much.
So the front will essentially remain the same. On the rear of the house, there is a very odd lean-to addition that we would, and the ceilings in there are about 6'8", which is not to code. So what we would like to do is keep within the existing footprint of the foundation. We would just like to build new walls with a new hip roof on the back of the house, which the only way you can see is actually coming into the yard because there's a large garage in the back that blocks it from the alley. And the new windows, we'll be using new windows, obviously, in that area, and they'll match the existing windows that you see on the front of the house, which are kind of unusual. They're 2/2, but it has a horizontal button rather than a vertical button. Do you see that?
Yep.
I gotcha. The windows that are on the top, are they going to slide sideways still, or are they going to be vertical openings?
So these are interesting windows. They act as both double hung, so you can slide them up, but they also have hardware that allows them to tilt out like awning windows. I've never seen anything like it.
They have window.
Yeah, it's very unusual.
You can do that or that.
Yeah, these go like, these like flip in or they go up.
You're leaving those.
Yes. Except, well, obviously in the addition, there'll be no.
And the shutters you're taking off and you're not gonna put any back.
No, they're just screwed into the vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. The Germans have a lot of them.
Yeah, they're very cool. So that's what we're doing with the main house. And then in the back, there's an existing kind of garage shed building that we would like to replace any rotted boards, replace the roof with like, and just really stabilize it right now. They don't want to do a lot to it, but they want to stabilize it, get the roof dried in, replace any rotted boards. They want to remove the oil tank that sits out there. And then there's also a little old kind of unstable deck coming out of the top that we want to remove.
Okay, how about the tree?
The tree's staying.
Tree stays?
The tree stays,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
Is that an opening on the second floor?
And here?
Where the old framing and deck is.
It's just like an old, it's a door.
Yep.
And we just want to take that decking down because it's unstable.
Okay, so all that will come off.
Yeah, we're going to remove the oil tank, we're going to remove the decking. You can see there's a
take
little
that
metal
off.
shed
Go with
roof.
that.
We're gonna install some brackets under that shed roof because right now there's nothing supporting it, just to keep it stabilized. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to repair the fence that's on the west side of the property, and then we want to add on the east side of the property a matching
Okay,
fence.
so are you going to fix it so there's no means of egress from that door? Or,
Well, there's an interior, you can get up there from the interior. It's just like a loft. So we're talking about the garage, that there are no steps coming down from that little balcony. Right, and it's a loft and a garage.
Yeah, but there's no way in and out of it from outside.
there's no way for anybody to get to the door?
You have to get,
Can we get back to the house, please, because the garage we just put on there because she included in the application, but actually we're here about the main house. Because the garage
Back to
could
the
have
house,
been
please.
approved administratively. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Tracy.
Do you have any questions about the main house?
I don't actually, no. It's all pretty well,
I make a
it's all
motion.
pretty well.
I only have one question.
I did.
You have no question?
It was going to be about those top windows, but the explanation's pretty good. They're staying.
And
The,
that's,
Do you have a question?
no, I was gonna make a motion.
Okay, could you make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the house portion. We're not talking about
Well,
garage.
You can
That
approve
we-
the whole application if you
Oh.
like, but I'm just saying you all were kind of asking questions.
We
that
drifted
didn't have
to the
anything
garage.
You
and
were
we
all
should've-
over the place. It's
Yeah.
hard to focus.
Yeah,
Let's
we
do one
were-
building at a time.
we were
If you
moving
still want to
around
discuss the
and-
garage, we can.
I'm
I don't
sorry,
have anything.
I don't have any follow-up on the garage either.
I totally understand.
Good, okay.
So I make a motion that we approve all renovations per the application.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and so on. So proceed with your project.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed. Commercial district, we have none. Other business is the monthly report from our zoning administrator, Katie Nunes, which has a report.
So before you since we last met, we have had 4 approvals administratively of minor exemptions. Those are listed for you. I'm happy to discuss any of those that were previously approved.
Nope.
I will raise at this point, with your allowance, is I've had some conversation the last day or so with the chairman regarding an application that was approved administratively over on Tazewell, and it was I don't remember the address, sorry,
Do you want me to?
Tell me the address.
624.
620.
642.
642 Tazewell, which was approved administratively for some front porch work. He's indicated to us that it appears to have exceeded what was applied for. We have spoken with the applicant as of late this afternoon, and yes, she's telling us that she wasn't just replacing the rails on the side steps going up on the porch. She actually intended to replace all the rails as well, the spindles, as you may call them. So I know that's a clarification being sought by our chairman on this particular matter, and wanted to put this before everyone so you're aware of it. In her application, she did not indicate that, but has since now has indicated by phone call to us today that that was her intent. And so clearly we need to get some additional information from her relative to that particular application. But I think the chairman would like to speak on this matter.
Okay, this is the problem that I had earlier today, and it's been greatly received by both the staff members that are here today, including Mr. Grossman, who's the town council member. As you both know, when we do porches, and we always ask somebody for the sample of the spindle, and that word can be used synonymously with another word, but it's the vertical piece that supports the handrail from the lower rail.
Yep.
Got
I
it?
don't remember
Yeah.
doing that.
You done it?
But we know the piece you're talking about, yep.
Pardon me?
I know the piece you're referring to.
Right,
yep.
okay, so,
Why do we have to have a sample of that?
because it's like for like, it's a historic, it's a Victorian house.
We've had a lot of porches that they've
But,
changed.
but nobody's ripped off the historic front pieces
Rails,
to
they're
it,
gone.
at least not since I've been here.
Well, she definitely exceeded past the application she presented to us. We spoke with her and she said she intended on doing all of it. And so, yes, we're going to have to get her to provide us evidence, documentation as to what was existing there before, what she's proposing to put there. And if it's like for like, it can still be approved administratively. If it is not like for like, then it would require an after-the-fact review by this board.
That makes sense to me.
Yes.
So she has to come back.
She would have to come back to my office and provide documentation showing what was there before, what she's proposing to put in on the additional rails, because what she had indicated to us is that she was going to be replacing coming up the steps, the side rails, I don't know what you call them, sorry.
It's opposite me, I know it.
So it was confusing because in the first part that I read is in section 2 of the new guidelines. Okay, now, extracting the sentence that says on page 2.3 to be exact, how do I apply for a certificate of appropriateness? And over in the right-hand corner, top right, it says district overlay are either exempt from needing a COA, comma, can be administratively reviewed by the zoning administrator, comma, or must be reviewed by the Historic District Review Board. Now, when I read that, there were key words a long time ago when I took an examination, and it was will was one of the words, and should was the other word. Well, when you read the word must, that means it has to be interpreted by us. Now, that's probably where I'm hung up, and Katie's been gracious enough to put up with my antics all day, and so is Tracy, but that's where I'm hung up.
So
That,
I'm unclear as to what the question is. Are we questioning that she did it without historic board approval?
correct.
Okay,
That's basically the problem.
but
There are some actions
that can be administered.
that can be administratively approved.
Correct.
And so,
So where do you draw the line?
again, if you continue reading the very next section, it details the difference between the three types of processes an applicant can consider.
Right.
If their scope of work is such it may be exempt from any review whatsoever, or their scope of work could say it can be approved administratively, and that is detailed below.
Exempt from COA.
And then the third one is, there are some actions, some scopes of work that do require HDRB review, period.
That-
And who
That's
decides
conflict.
what can and can't?
Your zoning ordinance, and in concert, your historic district guidelines,
Thank you. You're-
which are all
If you
detailed.
look at your proposal, that would mean she couldn't do any administrative approval.
I think the hang up here is the applicant put in like for like, is what they put in, which is what staff
And that's
approved
not what she did.
administratively. And
I don't know, and that's my point,
That's
is,
where we
like for
became
like.
ambiguous, because unfortunately, I live behind the house.
I know.
And I saw the gentleman take all the handrails and put them in his pickup truck and took them away. And I said, we didn't get a sample.
Well.
And then I
pictures
called-
suffice.
yeah, I'm not gonna say we've ever gotten a sample, a physical sample.
You're asking for the
description and
sample so we can
specifications?
prove that
Yes.
it's like for like.
Right.
Is that why you want a sample?
Yeah,
How about a picture
a picture would have been good, they're gone.
But I'm sure she has pictures of her house,
of before picture?
yes.
Right. And we talked about that
Yes.
later between the two of us.
And then you can show it was not like for like.
Yes.
Right, and then we can proceed with the fact that it was, this is what she's gotta have.
And we,
because-
and the staff is not disagreeing with your concerns that have been raised, Mr. Chairman. We
No,
absolutely
no.
agree with this. We approved the application on Friday, work started over the weekend, and clearly it went in excess of what she had applied for. And we have since confirmed that with her, so we will follow up and get the specifications on the existing railing that had been there and what she's proposing to put back.
But there's no reason they can't take the railing off if they were to go through the proper procedure.
Oh, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. They just skirted around the procedure. And since it's right in my backyard, I can't go around going like this. Obviously, you see it.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome, sir. And we had no zoning compliance checks being done at this point in time. We're doing some catch-up work in our office on some other things, and Mr. James will be taking that back up to get back on his regular schedule to do those inspections too. Again, we're trying to make sure people are getting their certificates completed and closed out. And we hit one case that was a little tricky because they did some of the work and not others. We're trying to figure out what they're doing, and that distracted us a bit. It took us a bit of time to walk through that particular.
I appreciate
Property.
everything you all do. You and
So-
Tracy and your other staff members do a great job.
I have a question about one of them. The house, call the house on the opposite corner from you. What's that number, that yellow duplex?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was an issue a while back where they went too long without doing anything.
And they came back to you. They had received, yes, they had received approval from this board, and then time lapsed. And they had not followed through with getting a building permit, they had not submitted final plans, they had lapsed on that side of things. So yes, we brought them back before this board, yes, and we re-upped them for another 6 months, and they are now seeing progress. They've obtained a building permit, we have plans on file, so they are making material progression on their certificate of appropriateness.
For
Yes.
some reason, I was thinking they No, I remember what
So.
you mean.
And that's what we're trying to do, is hold people's feet to the fire. We have lots of urgent cases that are brought to us all the time. I need your approval on this right away. And we try and jump through the hoops as quickly as we can, and then nothing happens. And that is bothering us from a staff perspective. We have heard people, we've responded to people, we give the approvals, we get them onto your agendas as quickly as possible, and then when performance fizzles, that's upsetting to us. So that is part of what we're doing with Mr. James as our compliance officer, is checking up on people and ensuring they are making material progress. And if they're not, then we either need them back to before this board to say, do you need an extension? Has something happened? And do we need an extension? Or is this project just not going to happen? And we're going to cancel it. We're going to close out the permit when it expires and move on. We just don't want them lingering, which is where we've been for many, many years. So we're trying to close the gaps on those
I
things.
think you're doing an excellent job. I have 2 questions about that.
Yes.
The one where the man removed the foundation is leveled it off, and where does he stand? And the second is the Kellogg building.
Is that 600 Washington you're referring
Yes.
to? Yes. So we had an active violation on that property for many months. We finally reached resolution with him that he would not be progressing with the house because it was not necessarily a failure of a historic perspective. It was a failure that he did not obtain all the necessary inspections from the building official. And so until those got rectified, he could not progress forward on the house, and the house stalled as an entity as a whole. He chose not to move forward on the house, and actually, before he started this project, it used to be 2 different lots, and he had combined those lots for this particular project, and he made the decision that he wanted to uncombine them and restore them back to being in full compliance, but 2 different lots.
Right.
As soon as he told us that was the decision and path he wished to do, then that actually required that he had to remove the foundation that had previously been installed for the one house, because it was straddling the lot lines. So he has now since moved forward on that. I'm not in charge of that project. He is in full compliance, and we've closed out his historic district permit. That's the building official who's overseeing that final removal of the foundation and footers and bringing the property back to a level playing field, et cetera.
Right.
And then we will get an application to re-subdivide the lot again, and then it can be sold as 2 different buildable lots.
Thank you.
Yep. You asked about
Kellogg building.
the Kellogg building. So I know they are still making progress to secure necessary engineering, professional services, contractor services. So I think we will have something coming forward from them within a couple of weeks with that outlined. As you know, they did part ways with their existing contractor, and that's been a little bumpy. I'll leave it at that.
But the project's still on track.
As best I know, yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
very much, Kate.
Separately, sorry.
Yes.
And I might have missed this last time, so my apologies. Is there any current pending actions on the very few remaining houses in town that are clearly dilapidating, the boarded up ones?
And I appreciate your
Referring
question on
specifically to
this.
the one next to Herb, actually. Because it's, the boarding on the outside of that has
If it
deteriorated
is-
a lot recently.
If it's safe and secure from the building official's perspective, then that may be all that happens on that. In terms of the inventory we've done most recently of what we consider demolition by neglect properties, definitely, we're just about finished on the second to the corner of over here on Randolph, that blue house that's been redone.
Yep.
The yellow house right next to it was the top on our list as well,
Yep.
and now that is moving forward, that's great news. We have identified what would be the next top priority, which is over on Mason Avenue, and I don't have the address right up handy.
Next to Dead House.
If you go past Dead Rise, go up to what used to be the seafood place, but has now been converted into a residence.
Resident/office, yeah.
And adjacent to that residence is a very dilapidated
Yep.
home there. That's going to be the next on our list as to approaching, there's some issues of ownership over that, because there's been an estate issue and where that got passed down. So it's going to be a little complicated to work our way through. But,
Last time I think we had a
Yes.
conversation, there were 6 houses on your list.
I don't remember how many were on it, but we've posted that to your website page. If you go to it, the whole report is there that we gave town council that shows the priority listing of what would be
And I
our
think
next round
the
of
house next
houses.
door to my house was in the second 3.
It could have been, and as we told town council and as we tell you, tackling these properties is time consuming.
Yes, I understand that, yeah.
And we try and take on one at a time because of how aggressive our approach has been
Yeah.
in working with the property owners. So it's not just like we fire off a letter and we ignore them.
I'm perfectly
Yeah.
happy with what you guys are doing. I was purely curious because I saw that a bunch of the fascia had fallen
Sure.
off recently.
Sure. And no, and it doesn't hurt if you think there are more, let us know, and we'll add them to our list. Some of them may be easily cured by the building official of him doing another letter out to them indicating you need to secure so that there is no entry into the property. It could be reboarding. Could be as simple as what needs to happen right
On
now.
that one, it was as simple as some of the frontage has fallen off and I can physically see inside the house through the walls now, so it
So-
was purely a...
Make sure Tracy has the address and we'll add it to our list and get our building official and myself to go look at it and we'll see where it is.
Yeah, I'll give it to you in a minute.
Yeah.
It's secure.
Yes.
It's,
Well,
I
it
mean,
is
like
under-
nothing can get in, and it's.
In the back, you can get it. And the boards need to be replaced in the
anyway,
back.
I'll send Tracy the address, please, just...
And we say that to anybody, if you think there's a house, we will go do the evaluation. It may not meet our justification or requirements under the ordinance or under the building code, but we will see what can be done.
That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it was done under the preventive maintenance code. that we
Right,
have
that's what I
in
said, under
town.
the building code, there are
Right.
some provisions that he can do.
And it has to
Again,
have
as long as
windows
they can secure it
And secure.
and ensure that there is no damage to health, safety, or anybody's getting entry in that could damage somebody's health or safety. So boarding up is a viable option. It may not look attractive in the district as a whole, but it is a first response from the building official. That's why I said, sometimes the approach we're trying to take now is if they really aren't prepared to maintain a historic property, we're trying to see if we can facilitate a different option.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
No, I'm kidding. I live next door.
Good.
Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Grossman.